Hello, twisted humans.
Do you find yourself wanting to know more about the latest murder, conspiracy, cult, or haunting?
Then this is the podcast for you. I'm Alecia.
And I'm Sierra, and this is
Twisted and Uncorked. Gotta wear the sunflower shirt while it's still summer, technically.
Love it.
My boss keeps saying that it's not summer anymore, and I'm like, summer solstice ends on September 20th, boss man, okay? But I am all about the spooky fall stuff.
Yes.
And so is Sierra. And it's our birthday month, so we're just gonna be extra obnoxious, and you just have to deal with it. And anybody that hasn't seen this on social media yet, we are doing a 15% off merch code. It's twins15 for 15% off at the store because we love you guys and we want to share our birthday month with you. So go check it out. We've got some new designs and happy birthday.
To everybody.
To everybody.
And if it's not your birthday month, well then a very merry unbirthday to you.
It could be your half birthday, and it could be a very merry half birthday to you too. And one more quick announcement is our merch draw at the end of August. For those of you that left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcast or Podchaser, our winner is Megan May 23. I did post that on social media, but just in case she doesn't follow us, it was from the United States on Apple Podcasts. So if that is you, please email us at twistedanduncorked@gmail.com or hotmail.com. We have both. And let us know where to send your goodies and what you would like from the store. Thank you so much. And for those of you that wrote in reviews but are not our draw winner, I would still love to send you some stickers. So send me your address anyway. You know who you are. And just a reminder that that's the best way you can help us continue to grow. Our downloads keep raising, but we need you guys to help us get those ratings up there by leaving us a 5-star review. And we will do future merch draws and other incentives, but pretty please, it takes you 5 seconds. Leave us an emoji. We don't care. It makes our day either way. So, yeah.
Yes.
That is all my plugs for the beginning of this episode. Welcome to episode 32, guys.
I have a huge plug, except it's not a plug at all. I need to know, did you see the new alien news article?
No. From when?
About the random girl who, held a press conference. It happened August 20th.
No.
Oh, my goodness.
Is this your fun fact for me?
Yes. It's a news article. Sorry,
I love it.
I have gone away from facts and gone to news articles.
It can be anything fun.
Yeah. So, a woman named Angelia Lynn Schultz held a news conference in Washington, D.C. Literally, this random girl was just call up the news and tell them I have some things that I want to say and they're going to want to be here.
Extra, read all about it kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I'm going to be here. You should be here too.
I wish I had that level of confidence.
Right. Only really small time news people came out because the big ones thought she was a crazy person. Anyway, basically,
it's funny every time.
This woman who now goes by the alias Anjali.
Okay.
Instead of Angelia, it's Anjali. Claims to be a retired defense intelligence officer, and she was holding a press conference to let people know that she has been in contact with aliens.
Oh, has she?
And they are apparently speaking to her and through her so that she can let the world know that we need to prepare for consciousness contact. And she wants to get a group of people together, scientists and whatnot, to take them to the aliens who apparently live on the inside of a mountain in California. To be honest, I feel like if there were aliens already living on Earth trying to make contact with humans who would be accepting of them, America is not the place to find those humans. So it's a little hard to believe But I do want to believe it.
That's very cool. I want to believe it too.
Yeah.
Can she take us to the aliens even though we're not?
I'm not a scientist, but like, can I go?
But
please?
like, because we have a channel in which we can report things, maybe she'll let us come.
Maybe. Well, let me tell you about it. So, about how we can find out anyway. A lot of her claims resemble the Patreon episode that we did on the Fifth Kind, but also sort of a lot the realism cult.
That was episode 19, I believe, or 21. 19 or 21. 22. Just 22. Kidding.
I did 22. Yes. But yeah, it was very culty. Like she was some messenger. But anyway, you can find the over an hour long video linked in the show notes. I have it for you. Also, you can follow this lady on Twitter. That's how we can find out if we can go meet these aliens.
I like it. Slide into her DMs.
Yeah, we follow her already. I followed her.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Her Twitter handle is Anjali Angaya, and it's Anjali, Anjali, O-N, Gaia, as in Earth, Gaia. So in case there's any more alien updates, go follow her. The latest thing that I saw was a tweet where she was going to do a live Q&A, but then something came up and she was like, sorry, I have to reschedule. So,
boo.
Yeah, normal cult-like things.
Just keeping you on your toes, keeping you wanting more.
Yes, always.
Wow. All right. Well, now my fun fact seems a little anticlimactic.
I have another one on top of that.
Okay, tell me.
Less fun one?
Yes.
Did you know that false eyelashes were originally called cum blockers?
No, but I love that so much.
I'm wearing false eyelashes right now.
Are you?
That's why I mentioned it. Yeah. I got some magnetic eyeliner and the magnet ones, so they're like.
Do they work well?
I mean, yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, because with the exchange for the the lashes and the eyeliner, it's like $90. So
no, I didn't get that one.
The Glametic. Oh, what did you get?
No, I got the eyelashes that I got are magnetic eyelashes. Just magnet. It didn't come with eyeliner. It's just magnetic eyelashes that I got on Amazon for $7.
Okay.
And the eyeliner that I got at the literal grocery store in the cosmetics department at the grocery store. It's $10 magnetic eyeliner.
Okay.
So they don't even go together. It's just normal ass magnetic eyeliner. It's probably terrible for my eyes, but whatever.
Send me a picture. It's hard to tell. Your makeup looks good, but it's hard to tell.
Thank you. Yes.
So mine is about the ocean. So the ocean is larger than all land masses on Earth combined, which we know. One of the reasons that the ocean is both beautiful and terrifying. And also, the pressure and the deepest part of the ocean that has been discovered to date is over 8 tons per square inch, which is the equivalent to having 50 jumbo jets piled on top of you. So my claustrophobia can't handle that. So no thank you. Just goes to show you why it is only possible for us to get to certain depths of the ocean, because humans are still building machines and underwater apparatuses that can withstand that level of pressure. So without exploding.
The Earth is actually a lot scarier than
we realize.
I realize. Yeah, like big time. That's
50
terrifying.
Jets. I can barely swim in wade out into the ocean.
Water. It's just water.
I know. Isn't that insane?
Why does it feel that way?
I don't know.
What is going on?
I don't know. I think the temperature of the cold and you're swimming down into the earth.
The closer you get to the core, it does different things.
And there's magnets and shit, so I don't know. I don't like
magnets on my eyeballs?
Yes, like magnets on your eyeballs.
That all comes back.
Thank the aliens for magnets. Jolie, if you will. So yeah, that's my...
Anjali.
Okay, sorry.
Anjali.
It just sounds like she's unjolly, and I don't like that. If you're gonna talk to aliens, you gotta be happy about it.
Yeah, it's weird.
So Yeah, so that's my fun fact. Next week, stay tuned for a better one. And by next week, Sierra, I mean in 5 seconds, because I asked my friend what she told me the other day when she came over for tea after we were done recording.
Wait, what?
My friend that came over for tea after we were done recording, she taught me something really cool about the human body, and then I totally forgot to write it down. So I texted her, and I'm like, what is it? So I can use it for your episode.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say that I have a really good one for next week as well.
I'm excited to hear it. Stay tuned, guys. But for now, we need some wine before we get into this case.
We do.
And we are drinking Seven Daughters Moscato today.
Yum.
And I actually really enjoy it. Fun fact, there is a wine called Seven Sisters, and for whatever reason, those two were just in my brain. Like, what did she actually text me? I'm glad I picked the right one because I didn't have my phone with me.
Good.
So, Seven Daughters makes wines that you can't wait to open. Amazing flavors, each with its own distinctive style. Whatever moves you, there's a Seven Daughters wine that captures the feeling. We began with 2 winemakers' blends, a red and a white, each crafted with 7 grape varietals for delicious, perfectly harmonized flavor, and then we expanded our line to include Moscato, Pinot Grigio, Pinot Noir, Cabernet, Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Blanc. So we are drinking the Moscato today.
This was $7 was the first wine that I actually liked.
Oh, really?
Ever. Like, yeah.
Is that why you picked it?
Yes. Well, because I saw it at the store and I was like, oh my God, I haven't had that in so long. It was another wine that I found at Olive Garden. Oh. So whenever I go to Olive Garden, I just feel fancy and I'm like, sure, I'll taste whatever wine you have. And usually I hate it because I just don't like wine that much. But I loved this one. This is the first wine I've ever liked. And I think that was, I don't know, when I had just turned 21, I was finally like, wow, I have a wine I like.
I didn't even look at the ABV on it. What is it?
I didn't either. 7.5.
Okay. That explains why it's like a little bit sweeter too. And for those that don't know, Moscato is one of the sweeter grape varietals, which explains why Sierra likes it. That's why I've tried to choose Moscatos and Rieslings at the beginning of this podcast. But we have the challenge of Sierra not having everything in Tennessee. So I guess I'll find out when I go there. And yes, I'm trying to find alcohol to profusely drink.
There's plenty.
So I actually have one quick fact about wine that I thought was really funny before we go into my story. So the drinking age of wine was determined ages ago by the Greek philosopher Plato. He wrote that the minimum age to consume wine should be 18. After 18 years of age, the person should drink moderately up to the age of 31. And then after 31, drink as much as you can to fight the crabbiness of old age.
Okay.
If a Greek philosopher said it, I gotta listen.
You gotta listen.
I mean, we're in between the 18 to 31 range where we should be drinking moderately, so I think we're doing okay. Are you eating candy corn?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so mad.
What is that face?
I eat like 3 pieces of candy corn a year.
Why?
Because it's so sweet.
I
know you love candy corn. I know. We had this conversation at Halloween when we first met. We said candy corn or what was the option? Candy corn or something else that's Halloween-y candy. And you picked candy corn, and all 3 of us picked something else. And I was like, what the hell?
I love candy corn.
I love you, so it's fine. There's more candy corn for you if I'm not eating it. It's basically what you...
Yes.
So today I have a disappear... Oh, cheers to 32, by the way.
Yes, cheers.
So, my case today is a disappeared case. This one intrigued me for a few reasons. And like most disappeared cases, it leaves you asking a lot of questions. But I'm curious to know your theories at the end, as per usual. So, let's dive in. So, Cynthia Anderson was born on February 4th, 1961. She was raised in a strict religious home alongside her brother and sister. The people her family saw, their friends, the boyfriends, anybody that they interacted with were all devout Christian fundamentalists. So I'm going to leave it at that. Cindy was described by her family as kind, obedient, and a social girl with many friends. By the time that she was 20 years old, she was working as a legal secretary in Toledo, Ohio. Did I say that right? Mm-hmm. I have this really bad habit of pronouncing everything incorrectly. She would often pass the time in her office by reading suspense or romance novels. So, I can relate to half of that. Cindy loved to read. We can relate. And she also enjoyed clothes, makeup, pamper yourself. And when she got this job, she started to dress a little She started to dress a little nicer. She started to do her nails, curl her hair. She was just starting to look her best self, going into adulthood, finding out who she is, all those good things. And her family definitely noticed that change, but they weren't like, that's weird. She's just a pretty girl, so she was showcasing it. So in 1980, her sister Christine said that she overheard Cindy telling their mom that she had been having a reoccurring dream about her allowing somebody into their home and then them being betrayed, somebody that meant her harm. So in various dreams, she was kidnapped, she was attacked, she was attempted abduction, all of that kind of stuff. So she kept having these horrific dreams, which may very well be a result of, her choice in reading and those interests, because I know from my perspective, researching various cases, sometimes that leaks into my dreams. So,
right. That's so crazy, though.
Right. And
that is a really creepy dream.
Right. And it also may be a premonition or a result of real fears that she was experiencing.
Yeah. So. Hey, speaking of dreams, so I bought myself a dream journal.
I love dream journaling. This morning
actually is the first time I remembered and wrote down my dream.
Does it give you prompts?
No. I mean, maybe. It's not like, I didn't buy a book called a dream journal. I bought a little
cute
notebook
journal
that I'm calling my dream journal.
Yes. I have one too. I often don't have time to write in it in the morning, which is a real bummer, because I have very vivid dreams almost every night. And I can usually remember them all. Some of them are very weird. Like random note, had a dream about various animals having animal sex with species that was not their own, and just condoms being everywhere when I was walking through the woods.
That's so crazy. I too usually have pretty vivid dreams, and I can even do what I want in my dreams, almost like lucid dreaming, but I can't manifest my own things in my dreams, and that's what I want to work towards. So I'm trying to remember them more deeply so that I can control them better. But oh my gosh, also cool. I'm sorry, I'm totally interrupting your story, but one more thing, I have a correction because witchy related. In one of our episodes, I don't remember if it was on here or on Patreon, but I know for sure in one of our episodes, I said something about how witches do things counterclockwise. And that was wrong. Witches do everything clockwise unless you're in Australia, because it's the opposite hemisphere. In Australia, that's where it's counterclockwise. So, I mean, this is not a factual podcast, but just in case anybody was taking what I was saying as fact, I wanted to fix it.
No, and you and I pride ourselves on giving the best research and the best information that we can, so that's fair.
Yeah.
I like it. She got deeper into her witch book, guys. That's what that means.
Sorry.
I'm so jealous. I'm going to read it while I'm there. As much as I can, at least. Yeah, Kevin's like, you're not going to bring a book? And I was like, no. I have 800 to read in Sierra's closet.
Look at plenty.
Exactly. So, yeah, dreams can be crazy, and to experience this over and over again would naturally be alarming. I mean, I have the one-off dream where I'm kidnapped or something, but this would be terrifying. So
yes, for sure.
During this time at work, Cindy was starting to receive harassing phone calls to the point that her employers, the two lawyers that ran the office, Jim Rabbit and Jay Feldstein, installed an emergency button or like a buzzer underneath her desk in case anything were to happen. One client reported that while he was at Cindy's desk, she had glanced over at the phone to see who was calling, and she genuinely felt afraid. She was, anxious, she was fidgety, she was visibly uncomfortable. And he noted that this was strange, and he asked if she needed to get the phone, and she was like, no. So he thought that this was odd, so he thought that he should mention it to law enforcement, which is, oddly forward, but I guess better than doing nothing.
See something, say something.
Exactly, we preach it. So even if you're going to what seems to the extreme, it's better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
So he let the police know that she seemed visibly afraid and uncomfortable, and that the phone had rung a few times during his visit there, and she never wanted to answer it. So one day, while Cindy was at work, she sat next to a window, and she looked up to see a plywood board across the parking lot painted with the words, "I love you, Cindy," by G.W. Cindy was obviously freaked out by this, as her boyfriend was not the person responsible for writing it, and there was no one else named Cindy working in that strip mall that it could have been for, and it was very obviously staged so that she would be able to see it from her desk. Mm-hmm. This sign was visible for 6 months before the mall actually, was able to get somebody in to paint over it. And then a few weeks later, the same message was written, but this time much larger, as in a little "fuck you, don't paint over my sign." Mm-hmm. And this gives me stalker vibes.
Yes.
And it hit close to home for me because I've experienced a stalker before. So, and I will tell that story at the end because I just want to. I don't want to save it for our listener story, and I've never even told Zara this, but it was creepy. So, Cindy couldn't think of anybody that she knew in her group of friends, the church that she went to, her family members, acquaintances, literally anyone with the initials G.W. One person that stood out as a possible suspect was the maintenance man for the law firm. He had keys to all of the offices, and he had access to paint and materials on the premises. However, this was all circumstantial, and there was no proof that he had anything to do with it. He was very helpful with law enforcement and cooperative during questioning, and they didn't see any reason to press further without any further evidence. So, on August 4th, 1981, Jim Rabbit arrived to the office in the afternoon after some meetings downtown. He found the front door was locked and the lights were on, and this was normal because, like I said, Cindy had experienced a bit of uncomfortableness, and she was often alone in the office when they were with clients or at meetings, so she would lock the door if she was in the office alone. I do this. It's a safe thing to do if you're alone, whether you're a female or male. It's just safe. So he walked in, nothing was out of the ordinary, and as usual, he expected to find Cindy sitting behind her desk reading one of her books, but instead she was nowhere to be found. The novel that she had been reading was open to a passage describing a violent abduction. After further investigation of the book, this was actually the only written record of an abduction in this book, so this was purposeful, it seemed.
Right.
Cindy's car was still in the parking lot, and she hadn't put the phones on hold as she usually did when she had to step out of the office. The office was not in any visible disarray. There was not any evidence of a struggle having occurred. Scroll. The only thing that was missing was Cindy, obviously, and her purse and her keys. As Cindy had been saving up for school, she had a pretty reasonable amount of money in her bank account, but investigators found that it hadn't been touched following the days of Cindy going missing. And this is the creepy part. Cindy was never seen or heard from again after this, to this date. Her social security number was never used anywhere else, and running away was ruled out relatively quickly in the investigation. Her sister Christine noted that Cindy and her boyfriend were going to be attending the same Bible college the following month, and she actually handed in her 2 weeks' notice. And she was on 10 days until she was going to be finished that job and going to school. She couldn't stop talking about how excited she was to begin this new chapter of her life and start her studies. A month after Cindy's disappearance, a mysterious phone call came into the police headquarters, and a woman said that she was calling about the Cynthia Anderson case. She was audibly scared and spoke in a low whisper. When the detective on the phone asked her for her name, she said she couldn't give it and insisted that Cindy was being held in a basement, but couldn't give any other specifics and abruptly hung up. A little while later, she called back a second time to tell police that there were 2 houses side by side, owned by the same family. She said they were out of town, but the son of the family was home, and he was the person responsible for holding Cindy hostage, and abruptly hung up the phone again. Police and officers patrolled the neighborhoods surrounding this area, looking for any signs of 2 close homes together. This wasn't like what I'm used to here in Vancouver, BC, where you could probably touch the other home if you were to lay in between them. Mm-hmm. This was, people had pretty big yards. There was at least a couple acres in between each home. So they were looking for something that was closer than the ordinary, but they couldn't find anything. Some people theorize that Cindy may have heard incriminating conversations involving a drug dealer who became concerned that she knew too much and was killed as a result. The reason for this theory is the period before, during, and after Cindy's disappearance in close proximity, 9 people in town were indicted on drug-related charges. And these were people that were run-of-the-mill, not people that would typically be involved in these crowds. Mm-hmm. So because this was a close-knit community, if Cindy had heard anything, she may have been targeted, even if she didn't know what she was hearing.
Right.
There's a convicted drug dealer named Jose Rodriguez Jr. He and his attorney, Richard Neller, were suspects in the Cynthia Anderson case for a period of time, and may still be. I couldn't find if they were still looking into them or not. Richard Neller worked with the law firm that Cindy worked for during 1981, the year that she went missing, and authorities theorize that she could have overheard conversations between Neller and Rodriguez concerning, anything that he had been involved with prior to her disappearance. Mm-hmm. Investigators believe that the information may have led to Cindy's possible abduction and or murder. However, this has never been proven. An informant testified at Jose Rodriguez Jr.'s trial in 1995, stating that he had confessed to killing Cynthia, but this testimony was ruled as unreliable due to the drug use of the informant, which is stupid. You can still be on drugs and still see shit.
Yeah. Ugh.
I know, it's frustrating, because this seems to be the only lead, and nothing, so. Both Jose Rodriguez and his lawyer are currently imprisoned due to drug convictions. So, Richard Neller was dubbed a dirty lawyer. Dirty cops exist, so why not dirty lawyers?
Yeah.
Anthony and Nathaniel Cook are also persons of interest in Cynthia Anderson's disappearance. From the years of 1973 to 1981, the brothers, both of whom were long-haul truck drivers, murdered at least 9 people in and around Toledo, Ohio. They have denied involvement in Cindy's disappearance, and nothing has ever been found connecting them to her. To date, no one has ever been charged with her disappearance. But one of these 2 branches seems to be the most likely. Mm-hmm. The case remains open today still, and Cindy has never made an appearance again, like I said, if she was still alive.
Right.
Her family was hopeful that she was living a happy, normal life somewhere, and her father theorized that she may have suffered some sort of accident, giving her a mild form of amnesia, making it so that she couldn't remember where she came from. Her father, Michael, believed this up until his dying day in 2008, that she would come home one day.
It's probably easier to believe that than to believe she's gone for good.
Yeah, I agree. It's very sad. These are the details, the last details that we have about Cynthia Anderson, or as she preferred to be called, Cindy. She was 20 years old. She went missing in 1981. She's 5'4", approximately 115 pounds. The last clothing she was seen wearing was a white V-neck dress with pink pinstripes. She had cinnamon brown legging pantyhose on and a beige open-toed ankle strap sandals. The distinguishing characteristics about Cindy is she's Caucasian, she's got brown hair, brown eyes, she goes by Cindy, she has a chickenpox scar on her forehead and a 1.5-inch scar on the inside of her right knee, shaped like an open fish hook from an accident that she had when she was a child. Anybody with any information is encouraged to call the Toledo Police Department, and I will link that number in the show notes as well. So, what do we think happened here?
I think that a client of the law firm, whether that was Jose or not, some client of the law firm had a fascination with her when they came in to see their lawyer and just wanted her. I don't necessarily think she heard something that she wasn't supposed to hear. I just think that it was a sick fucking stalker type person who wanted her. I do think she was held in someone's
basement
house.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Why would somebody call and say that otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, people do
bullshit things that lead like investigators around
all the time, but I think that that's something a stalker would do. And maybe it was Jose. Maybe he was just in love with her as well as, doing some shady drug dealings. Yeah, but I think for sure it was a stalker situation.
I agree. Because of the I love you sign being the biggest piece of evidence and her going missing while she was at work alone.
Yeah,
she worked in a busy strip mall.
I think whoever it was probably knew her enough, by coming in. And they called her one day and said something like, hey, I am obsessed with you and I'm going to kill myself unless you come out here and talk me off the ledge. And she was like, oh my God, don't do this. I'll come to you. Where are you? Because she just seems like that kind of a good person.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm at this location. You better drive here quick. And she left in a hurry. Didn't put the phones on hold. Again, she's in a hurry. She's trying to literally save someone's life. And when she got outside, before she got into her car, they just grabbed her.
Yeah, that seems legitimate. It's hard to say.
Complete speculation.
Yeah, guys.
In my brain,
are not profilers. We are not detectives. But we've heard enough cases and read enough to know that there are patterns with crimes that don't seem to go away. And the I love you is obviously a very visible indication of somebody's obsession with her, whether or not she knew it. And the fact that it was painted over and then written again bigger obviously pissed them off. So it's possible maybe they thought Cindy was responsible for having it painted over. Who knows? People are triggered and angered by various things. I would agree with that theory that it's probably a stalker situation. And I mean, I like to hope with disappeared cases where somebody is never seen or heard from again, especially this long, it's been 30 years, that they are still alive. But like Sierra said, it's easier to believe that than it is to believe that somebody is gone. Even if you don't have a connection with them, it's horrible to think that she was held in a basement and tortured and killed.
Maybe Cindy did know all of this drug stuff, and she went into the witness protection program, and she's the reason everybody got arrested because she told on them. I like that theory better. That's my new theory. She's in
But
the
are you
witness protection
allowed?
program.
Are you allowed to contact your family, or do authorities contact your family?
No.
Nobody contacts your family.
No one is allowed to know, because any person who knows now puts your life in danger.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory. I never thought of that. That's true, though.
And if you go into the witness protection program through the FBI, sometimes the police don't even know.
Oh, shit. I mean, either way, we know that she didn't walk away. She was really excited to start her school. She was excited to be with her boyfriend at their new college. So we know she didn't just walk away. And if she did just walk away, that solid chunk of money would be gone.
Right.
Yeah, and the fact that it was never touched is weird, if that was the motive, which it obviously wasn't.
Right.
Whether it was her, whether it was somebody else. Because if her purse and keys were taken, they would have access to her bank cards, and they would be able to take that if they wanted to, like an Israel Keys bullshit situation. That's my only theories, really. This one's kind of like an open and shut, but it's also creepy in the sense that you don't know. And yeah, she was just gone.
It's so strange. I'm sure it was, but I wish we knew more about the types of clients that they had at the law firm. Like, was there any person who maybe was a sexual predator who had some sort of mental illness? Like, maybe this person got attached to her from coming in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things like that.
Because she was kind and
right.
pretty and just saw her as like a... Yeah, that's always scary, too, when somebody sees you as a friend and you're just seeing it as an innocent interaction.
Right.
That's possible. But that is why I made the note that she was, putting an effort into her appearance, and she was a very pretty girl. And unfortunately, that has its downsides. And that actually kind of leads me a little bit into my story, where an innocent interaction with somebody can become something more and something scarier. The person that, I hate even using the word stalked, because it happened in high school. It happened in grade 12, mind you. But that can still, be construed as like an innocent adolescent crush. But this went too far, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And this person actually ended up changing schools because of it. So there was this guy. I will not say what his name is. I will call him Bill. No, not Bill. We just talked to Bill. I don't want to do that. We'll
don't
call
do that
him
to Bill.
Bob.
Okay, Bob.
So Bob was in my physics class and in grade 12, and I took it as an elective because I had to have a certain amount of sciences, and I had already maxed out on biology because I'm a nerd, but I'm awful at math. So physics was not my cup of tea. I barely passed. Mm-hmm. So this guy was really smart. Always had been. He's been in my school since grade 8. I've known him for 5 years. I'm like, cool. I'm going to buddy up with you because I'm going to fail this class otherwise.
Right.
So he was really nice. He's like that kid that wears like a sweater and jeans every day. And is just like a little moody, kind of keeps to himself. Mm-hmm. A little awkward, doesn't have a lot of friends, but is a really nice guy. So I am nice to everybody. I believe that is important. But it is also the reason that my dad says that myself and my mother attract weirdos.
I get it.
So me and Bill hung out for an entire year, pretty much, of school. He was my lab partner. He was this, he was that. And, I was just thinking we were friends. I was actually dating somebody at the time. And when me and that person broke up, I think he thought that this was his chance. Mm-hmm. I started getting letters in my locker. I started getting flowers. I started getting teddy bears, all sorts of things outside of my locker. One day I came to my locker to find the words "beautiful girl" written on it in what looked like red Sharpie. I'm hoping. And I noticed every time I would turn around in the hallway, he would be behind me. And I was like, that's weird. We don't have all of the same classes. We have this class together every other day.
He wanted to carry your books.
Apparently. So I started noticing that he was around me all the time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to face this head on. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to be creeped out. I'm just going to make him know that I know that he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Then things started to escalate. And in biology, in grade 12, they do pig dissections. So in my locker was a bag of blood that came from the biology lab where they dissected pigs.
Why?
I don't know.
Was he mad now?
I don't know.
Did he think that was cute? Like, what the fuck?
Don't know. So after this, I went to the principal and I was like, this is what happened. And at the time, I wasn't even eating meat, so I was, like, extra disturbed by it. Mm-hmm. That's gross. And I was like, I literally, like, I don't know if anybody's ever, opened a package of ground anything. Like, it's not, like, solid blood. It looks like watery. Like, it's gross. Yeah. But anyways. Yeah. So I was in a Ziploc bag, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I was like, who put this in my locker? Who got my locker combination to be able to do this? So I went to the principal and I told them what happened. And I was like, I think I know who did it. And I don't want to name names or anything, but this person's become increasingly close to me. They text me a lot. They're always in the hallway behind me. They're just kind of everywhere I look. And I never rejected him, but I did get back together with my boyfriend. And I think that pissed him off. So, mm-hmm. I don't know. But, after some time, I know that he was brought into the principal's office and he was talked to, and then he just wasn't in class anymore. And whenever I asked anybody that knew him where he was, they said that he had switched schools. So, I don't know. Wow. And I've never seen this person since. However, they did add me on Facebook 2 years ago. Right before I got married. So, no, I'm good.
Chill out, Bob.
Chill out, yeah. Don't be so nice and creepy. And put blood in my locker.
People being nice to you does not mean that they want to have sex with you, okay?
No, it might mean that they're a nice person and they really want to pass physics. And I want to reiterate, I did not take advantage of in any way. I just was like, you're good at this, and I need to understand it.
Right.
And that was for me just genuinely wanting to understand.
Yeah.
And for one of our field trips during that class, we went to the P&E, which is an amusement park downtown Vancouver. And because, you learn about the G-force and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of cool to go on a ride and see, like, when your body thinks you're going to die and, like, how rides make your body feel. And, he and I hung out pretty much that whole day, like, innocently so. But it was a field trip with only our class. So,
right.
Like, I don't think I did anything to lead him on. If I did, I feel really bad about it. It doesn't matter.
No means no. Leading on is not relevant.
Yeah. So that was creepy. And yeah, that's my story. My parents don't even know that.
That's super creepy.
My boyfriend at the time knows that because I had a good cry afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't do any of the dissections, and most people knew that, and it pissed them off because they didn't want to do it because it was gross. Mm-hmm. But I didn't want to do it because I was going to cry the entire time. So it's possible that he wasn't the person responsible and somebody was pissed off that I was just not doing these dissections. Little do they know I was doing like a shit ton of other extra stuff instead.
Mm-hmm.
That was way more work than a dissection, but whatever. The only dissection I've ever done is on a human brain, and that was in university, and that was because it was really fucking cool and they donated it to science.
I'm jealous.
Okay, I was crazy. Like, what is she gonna say? Is that gross or is that cool? But yeah, so that's my creepy stalker story. Not really too creepy. Exciting, but why this stood out so much to me.
Yeah.
Between the love you, like the creepy letters and the beautiful girl and the bag of pig blood, I'm out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really hopeful that if Cindy is still out there, that she is okay. I mean, I know from my true crime side that it's not likely.
I really hope that she is in the witness protection program and she's living
I do
a great
too.
life.
I like Sierra's theory.
She just had to. Like, she knows her family's going to be sad, but also maybe she was secretly sending letters to her dad, and that's why he had hope the whole time.
He's like, I know she's okay.
Yeah, and
I'm going to make up an excuse.
She's just like, sorry guys, this case was bigger than us. I'm only 20 years old and got a lot of things to learn.
Protect myself.
But I know that this case needs to be given over to the police and gotta go undercover.
Yeah, I like that theory. Let us know what you guys think as per usual, and if you've ever dealt with a stalker, which seems to be the number one theory of this investigation.
Yeah.
I mean, if those 2 guys killed 9 women and didn't want to fess up to her, I mean, they usually like to do that, but then they're also bullshit, and they like to hold stuff too.
Right.
So, who knows? We will never know, guys.
No one knows.
Welcome to the disappeared episodes.
Yep. I was listening to a new podcast recently that I just stumbled across, and I was like, I have to know what this is about. And it's literally a roasting podcast. It's a podcast that roasts other podcasts.
Yes,
and they talk so much shit about other podcasts, and they're
like in a funny way, like in a respectful, funny way, like a traditional roast would be.
No, in a
they're jealous
straight
and assholes
white
kind of
man kind of way. Like, these 3 ladies are just a bunch of cunts. They don't know anything about life. They should get back in the kitchen. Yeah.
Wine and creme?
Yes. Yeah. The one thing they complained about the most when it came to true crime podcasts, because there was multiple, is they were like, these girls don't even know what they're talking about. They're just speculating at the end. And I'm like, that's the fucking point. Like, that's all we want to do is speculate wildly. Okay?
Yeah.
Owning it. We want to.
And no, like I always say, and like we always say, we are not experts, but we have, a decent amount of knowledge and groundwork into it that we can speculate accurately.
Right.
With what history has presented. That doesn't mean that that's what happened. We're not stupid. We don't know. Like,
right.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. That's the point. Like, you don't know either.
And guess what? And guess what, guys? No case is solved without wild speculation.
Right.
Please think of something outside of the box or try something new. Lead to cases being solved. So fuck you.
Right. Like, I am defending us when we have not even been chosen to be roasted for good reason. Okay, so happy September 14th, everyone. Today, as you listen to this, we are hanging out together and having a crazy good time. We're probably going live this week, so slide into our DMs to ask us some questions or offer us up some fun things to do here in Nashville.
Yes, please. And on this day in particular, we also had a spirit guide session from our friend Tara from the Haunted Housewives podcast. So
yeah,
check them out too. They're cool girls.
For sure.
And if you haven't already, check out our Patreon to see our tarot card reading from the other half of that podcast, Carly. So stay tuned, patrons. You guys will get access to both. So yeah, Carly's is already up, but you'll get access to Tara's when I'm back because this is in the past. Future. This is the future.
This is someday.
I am,
This is September 14th.
I'm still practicing my witchcraft. I'm not that good to be able to put it out there right now.
Yeah.
When it's still happening. We love you guys lots. Thank you so much for listening. Please send in those reviews. Follow us everywhere. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook is on pause currently because I'm still hacked.
But I'm
Twitter,
in the group. Hi.
Sierra's still there. For patrons that want to sign up, you get different gifts at every level, and you get to unlock a shit ton of stuff. At $1, you can unlock 5 Urban Legends stories and listen to ad-free episodes. So that's worth the $1, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
That's less money than you spend on gas driving for 2 seconds.
Exactly. Like, not even a mile.
Yeah, and we love hanging out with you guys, and we like to try and give our patrons access to everything early and exclusive voting and discount codes and stuff like that. We show our appreciation in different ways. But yeah, check it out if you haven't already. And we will see you next week for Sierra's episode. And in the meantime,
keep it twisted.
Thank you for listening to Twisted and Uncorked Podcast. Remember, if you like the show, to go leave us a 5-star rating and review. We couldn't do it without you guys. Now stay tuned to hear about another cool podcast.
Hello and welcome to Once Upon a Nightmare, your horror movie podcast. I am your host Lorraine, and I'm here to chat about the fictional horrors of the world with some real horror thrown in. So if I want that true crime fix, I can just find a film based on actual events and chat about that. Still a horror movie.
Loophole!
I have had what some would call an unhealthy obsession with the horrors of the world for well over 30 years now, real and fictional. So if any of that piques your interest, you can find me on your podcast platform of choice. And of course, don't forget to rate and review and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Bye.